Hi, my name is David Watkins. I have 8 acres of woodland called Sunbeck Wood in a larger area of woodland called Brafferton Springs between Boroughbridge and Easingwold in North Yorkshire. This woodland is a mix, about a 50-50 mix of deciduous and conifer. It's as a wide range of species. There's probably about 22 species we've identified here now. So a good biodiversity. Once we've cleared out a lot of the conifers, the Norway spruce and the Scots pine, we should revert back to what this is. There's quite a little bit of beech here, there's oak, it's more open, there's more light coming down, and it'll be really the sort of woodland that we're wanting, and probably the woodland that was here sort of pre-industrial times. Okay, so if you're looking at a piece of woodland and you're wondering the age of the woodland, there are what are termed indicator species which might be able to help you. Now, indicator species are species which will have been in that particular piece of woodland for a long time. They will vary as to which species according to what the soil type is like and where you are in the country, but every region in the UK will have indicator species. Now, generally speaking, it means that they're not that good at spreading, so it means that they will have been here, they will have found it very difficult, for instance, to even cross a path like this, so they will always have been in that woodland. So this is an indicator species. It's elder, which is a shrubby tree. The berries make a very nice wine, and you can also make like a syrup for putting over ice cream and things like that, so it's got quite a lot of uses. So for a long time, oak was thought to be the characteristic forest woodland species in the UK, but in recent decades it's been realised that probably this species, which is small-leaved lime, was actually the dominant and most common species in woodland going back into prehistoric times. It's very characteristic. It's got these lovely heart-shaped leaves. If you've got small-leaved lime in your woodland, it's very rarely planted, so it's probably always been there, and that's a very good indicator that it may well be ancient woodland. So there are basically 2 oak species in the UK. There's the peduncular oak and the sessile oak. Now, the peduncular oak is mainly the sort of lowland eastern species. The sessile oak tends to be wetter conditions to the west and the higher ground. Now, we've got both in this woodland, but the peduncular oak predominates. So the leaves of both species are very similar, but the peduncular oak, you can tell quite easily, it has virtually no stem at all, whereas the sessile oak has a short stem coming off the twig. So you can see here, it's a very, very short, non-existent really, stem. So that's the peduncular oak. So this is the common beech. It's got quite a characteristic shiny oval leaf and a very smooth bark compared to some of our other tree species. I understand it's not naturalised in the north of England, it's more of a southern species, so these have obviously been planted here, but we've got some nice examples here. Okay, so there's a nice example here of a honeysuckle constriction, and there's also one at the back here, a bigger example actually there. In this case it's a birch. So we're in an area of coppice here that we'd like to regenerate through the rest of the wood. Hazel itself is an indicator species of ancient forests, and this has probably been harvested here for many hundreds of years, and we'd like to restore that. So here we've got a wild cherry, and the bark is quite characteristic. It has that sort of horizontal marks, quite a long oval shaped leaf. Okay, so this is herb Robert. This is another indicator species of ancient woodland. Very delicate little pink flower, and has these long seed pods. Member of the cranesbill family, I think.